Hey everyone, today I went to the Memorial Day parade in Washington DC. So Memorial Day is held on the last Monday of May every year in the US, and it's to commemorate and honour men and women who have died while serving the US military. And it honours those that died in the American Revolution right through until today. So the parade is the largest one in the country and goes all the way down Constitution Avenue. And so I thought I'd head on down and check it out. So it's a mix of marching bands and veteran units. Now I thought coming into it that it would be very much like our Anzac Day parade, our Anzac Day march, where it's all about the veterans and we have bands in between but it's really about the veterans and their families. This was a little less so. So there was symbolism and representation of veterans, and they did, have something for everyone, but there wasn't as many vets. And I have a feeling that November the 11th is their Veterans Day over here in the US, and that's where maybe more of the veterans would march. They certainly did have some World War II vets and some Korean vets, Vietnam vets, and some Desert Storm. But again, there wasn't as many as I thought. And the bands that they brought in were predominantly high schools, and they were really, really good. And I really loved it because they were dressed in some really good outfits, and there was flag people doing stuff, and there was dancers doing stuff, and and a lot of the times the bands actually didn't have any music, because how sometimes you see bands going past and they've got their instrument, but then they've got a little a music stand and they have the music on it so they can play it. Well, most of these kids weren't. They were just playing from memory, which I thought was brilliant. And so they were really, really good. And so I took a lot of footage of those. Some bizarre ones. There was a Viking band, some band in Seattle or Oregon were a mariachi band, which again, I'm not dissing them. I just don't know what the link is between Mexico and Oregon, but they had really nice sombreros on as well. And yeah, so it was good. Look, the parade itself went for about 2.5 hours, and they probably could have done a little bit better with the way they sort of timed it all, and also where they put things, because sometimes they had like 2 or 3 bands back to back, and which I just meant that you sometimes couldn't hear the bands because the other band before or after was a bit louder, but also it meant that there were some times where there was gaps where you weren't hearing any music at all. There was also then big gaps between some of the different groups, which then meant people were just sort of getting a little bit, over it, and then they left. So it's certainly, they did think that there would be 100,000 people there. And I was only in one small area, and I don't know if they did get that, because there was also, the weather report was going to be hail and thunderstorms. And so maybe a lot of people stayed away. I'm not too sure. I'll watch the news tonight and try and find out how many they thought actually came along the mile, or along the Constitution Avenue where they were having it. I got a seat okay. Well, I was just sitting on the grass. A lot of people brought seats or picnic blankets and stuff, but we weren't squeezed. We weren't, 3 or 4 deep. I mean, it wasn't the Christmas pageant or anything like that in Adelaide where you just jostle for position. So that was good. There was a lot of sponsorship, which I think is a sort of a thing now, but like they had U-Haul, and there was a whole pile of U-Haul trucks that got to be in the parade as well. BAE, other companies, Xfinity, which I think are a streaming service or an internet provider. So yeah, so that to me, I mean, I don't necessarily like the commercialism of it, but I suppose that's what it is these days. We're starting to see that over in Australia as well. But then there was bizarre things, like there was this giant Idaho potato on the back of a truck, and I don't know what it had to do with the veterans and Memorial Day. And a lot of people were saying Happy Memorial Day, and I was thinking, but this is a very somber thing, you know. We're remembering those that have fallen. But, you know, as some girl next to me I was chatting to, and she was saying, yeah, but it's a celebration that their life wasn't taken in vain, that we can celebrate their lives. And I thought, yeah, but I still don't feel happy, or still don't feel right saying Happy Memorial Day. They did have floats, so I got to see floats. So again, when I hear floats, I think of the Christmas pageant. But obviously, you know, Americans do like to do a lot of parades, and so they do these floats. So it was good to see floats. Gary Sinise was on one of them. He was one of the guest stars, as was Bryan Cranston, who was in a car with a couple of vets. I think they just were guest stars of the parade. Gary Sinise, though, does have a foundation, and some of the people that were organising floats and stuff gave away stuff, and I do like getting giveaways, and I'll show you what I got. So the first thing we got, American flag. Everyone was sorry, I think that's the right way. So I gave away American flags to everyone. I did think I probably should have brought an Australian flag. I haven't actually brought an Australian flag with me, which is a shame. Maybe I'll try and organise something, get something on Amazon. Anyway, but there was something where it was yay to our allies, and they had a whole pile of different flags, and I noticed the Canadian and New Zealand and Australian flags, South African and a few others. But anyway, so we got an American flag that we could wave, so that was nice. We got the Code of Support Foundation, so that was the one that Gary Sinise was on, and it was like part of his foundation, I think, I'm not too sure. But these are Band-Aids. I haven't opened them yet, but we did see a little girl, she was playing with hers, and she was taking them out and just putting all the Band-Aids on. We also got a stubby cooler and the Code of Support, no veteran left behind. So yeah, so they were just giving these out in the crowd, and then I got a lollipop. They did have other stuff, but they were giving them to kids, and I didn't want to, you know, push the kids out the way to grab the free stuff, considering I didn't need any of it. So, but yeah, so they do that. They give away a whole pile of stuff, which was really good. There was some protesters, and look, it was a political thing, and I'm not going to talk too much about what they were protesting, but what I was pretty not impressed by, but certainly what I noticed was that the police moved pretty quickly to sort of stop them from coming anywhere near the parade, and they just sort of sat behind with some really good chants that were very toe-tapping. And but anyway, Memorial Day, I took a whole pile of photos, and I took a whole pile of footage of the bands, and so I haven't worked out which ones I'm going to show you yet, but this is all the footage that I took from Memorial Day. What it makes me think is that I probably will see another parade. Didn't mind it. The bands were fantastic. I tell you, I do want to go to a high school sports game now, like a football game or something like that, because I know the bands come out, the cheerleaders and the flag people, just to see all the pomp and ceremony, because they do it well. So that was Memorial Day. Hope you enjoy all the footage.
Arriba!